The notification sound cut through my apartment like a knife. Another comment on my latest vlog. I clicked it open, already knowing what I'd find. This is garbage. Who actually watches this? The words came from Critical Eye 47, the same account that had been tearing apart my content for months. I was Sam Torres, 26 years old, and apparently the internet's favorite punching bag. My vlogs focused on simple kindness, everyday moments of people helping each other. Nothing fancy, nothing viral-worthy, just real stories that mattered to me. I sat back in my second-hand desk chair and watched the view count tick upward slowly. 43 views in 6 hours. My best friend Kyle kept telling me to quit, to stop embarrassing myself. But something inside me refused to give up. I scrolled to the other comments, mostly empty profiles with cruel words. Then I saw it. A simple message from an anonymous account. Don't stop. Keep telling your story. The profile had no picture, no history, nothing. Just those 7 words that somehow felt different from everything else. My alarm went off at 6:30, same as every morning. I worked data entry at Patterson Industries, a job that paid my bills but slowly killed my soul. 40 hours a week of typing numbers into spreadsheets while my real passion collected dust in the corners of my free time. I made coffee in my tiny kitchen, the same chipped mug I'd used since college. My apartment was small, 1 bedroom in a building that had seen better decades. But it was mine, and my camera equipment sat carefully arranged on a shelf I'd built myself. After work, I stopped at the corner store. Mrs. Chun, the elderly owner, was struggling with a delivery box. I helped her carry it inside, and she smiled warmly. "You're a good kid, Sam," she said. It wasn't much, but these moments mattered. These were the stories I wanted to tell. That evening, I edited footage of a teenager helping a blind man cross the street. Simple, human, real. When I uploaded it, I checked my notifications obsessively. Then another message appeared. "I'm watching." Just 2 words from that same anonymous account. The new vlog focused on a homeless veteran named Thomas, who I'd met downtown. He shared his food with stray dogs every evening, despite having almost nothing himself. I spent 3 hours filming and interviewing him, learning about his service, his struggles, his unexpected generosity. The editing took all night. I missed sleep, surviving on coffee and determination. When I posted at dawn, something felt different. The video gained 20 views in the first hour, then 50, then 100. The comments were actually positive. Real people responding to Thomas's story, sharing their own experiences with kindness. My hands shook as I read through them. Maybe Kyle was wrong. Maybe this mattered. Then the anonymous account commented again. "I see what you're doing. It's bigger than you think." I stared at those words for 10 minutes straight. Who was watching? What did they mean by bigger? I tried clicking on her profile, but it led nowhere, just an empty page with no information. 3 days later, my phone buzzed with a direct message. The anonymous account had sent me something longer this time. "Sam, I've been following your work for months. I'm a documentary producer, and I believe your story deserves to be told on a larger scale. Would you be interested in discussing this further?" My stomach dropped. Documentary producer? This had to be some kind of scam. People didn't just offer opportunities to struggling vloggers with barely any following. I showed the message to Kyle over lunch. He laughed. "Come on, man. This is obviously fake. Nobody's making a documentary about your kindness videos." But something in his dismissiveness made me defensive. "What if it's real?" I asked. He shrugged. "Then you're incredibly lucky or incredibly stupid for believing it." The message included a time and place. Friday, 3 p.m., at a coffee shop called the Grounded Bean downtown. No name, no phone number, no way to verify anything. I saved the message and spent the next 2 days oscillating between excitement and terror. Friday arrived like a storm. I called in sick to work, something I never did. The Grounded Bean was a hipster place with exposed brick and overpriced lattes. I arrived 15 minutes early, ordered plain coffee, and chose a table near the window. At exactly 3 p.m., a woman walked in. She was maybe 40, dressed professionally but not flashy, carrying a leather bag that looked expensive. She scanned the room, spotted me, and smiled. "Sam Torres?" she asked. I nodded, unable to speak. She sat down across from me. "I'm Adrian Pierce. I produce documentaries about people who make quiet impacts on their communities." Her voice was calm, professional, practiced. She ordered a cappuccino and pulled out a tablet. "I've watched every single one of your vlogs. You have something rare. Sam, authenticity." My coffee went cold as she talked. She knew details about my videos that even I'd forgotten. She mentioned the elderly woman I'd help with groceries, the kid I'd given my umbrella to during a rainstorm, moments I'd captured without thinking they mattered. Adrian explained her vision over the next hour. She wanted to create a documentary following my journey as a vlogger, showing how small acts of kindness ripple outward. "But I need to know," she said, leaning forward. "Are you the real deal? Is this genuine? Or are you performing for views?" The question stung, but I understood it. "This is who I am," I said quietly. Views or no views, I'd still notice these moments. I'd still care. She nodded slowly, studying my face. "I've been following your content for 7 months, Sam." "I know." 7 months. The anonymous account. It was her. "You've been leaving those comments," I said. She smiled. "I needed to see if you'd quit when things got hard, if you'd chase trends or stay true to your message. You passed every test." She told me about a network of supporters, people she'd quietly directed to my content, not bots or fake accounts, but real humans who connected with authentic stories. The documentary would reveal this network, showing how genuine kindness attracts genuine people. Over the next month, my subscriber count grew, slowly at first, then faster. Adrian's network was real. People started commenting with their own stories, their own experiences with kindness. Some were beautiful. Others challenged me. One user wrote, "Easy to film kindness when you're not struggling to survive." The comment hit hard because it was partially true. I wasn't wealthy, but I had a roof and food. Was I being naive? I created a response vlog addressing it directly. "You're right," I said to the camera. "I'm privileged to have time for this. But that's exactly why I should use it. We all have something we can give." The response was overwhelming. Supportive comments flooded in, but so did more critics. Adrian called it growth pains. "You're reaching people now," she said. "Not everyone will like your message. That's when you know it matters." Then she mentioned something that chilled me. "There are people watching who don't support what you're doing. They're studying you, trying to understand your appeal. Stay alert." I focused my next vlogs on deeper stories. A single mother working 3 jobs who still volunteered at a food bank. An ex-convict who spent his weekends cleaning parks because society had given up on him. But he hadn't given up on society. A teacher who bought school supplies with her own money because her students deserved better. Each story took weeks to film and edit. My data entry job suffered. My boss, Mr. Harrison, called me into his office. "Your performance has declined," he said flatly. I almost told him about the documentary, about Adrian, about the growing audience that actually cared about my work. But I just nodded and promised to do better. That night, I edited until 4 a.m. When I uploaded the teacher's story, the response was immediate. 10,000 views in 3 hours. Comments poured in from other teachers sharing similar experiences. Then Adrian called. "We need to meet," she said. Her voice sounded strange. "Something's happened." But when I tried calling back, she didn't answer. 3 days passed with no word from Adrian. Her phone went to voicemail. Her email bounced back. The anonymous account that had started everything went silent. Panic set in. Had I imagined everything? Was this an elaborate prank? I tried to focus on my vlogs, but doubt crept into every frame. Cal noticed my spiral. "Told you it was too good to be true," he said, not unkindly. But I'd seen Adrian in person. I'd sat across from her at the Grounded Bean. She was real. The documentary was real. Wasn't it? My subscriber count continued growing, now at 15,000. People kept commenting, asking for more content, sharing their stories. The work mattered even if Adrian had disappeared. On the seventh day, my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello. I answered. Sam Torres. A man's voice, unfamiliar, formal. This is regarding Adrian Pierce. We need to talk. My heart stopped. Is she okay? Meet me tomorrow. Same coffee shop, same time. The line went dead. I didn't sleep that night. The man at the grounded bean wore an expensive suit and an expression that revealed nothing. He introduced himself as Vincent Hayes, Adrian's business partner. She had to step back temporarily, he explained. Personal matters. But she wanted me to continue guiding you. I didn't trust him immediately. Something about his polished demeanor felt off. Why didn't she tell me herself? I asked. Vincent smiled thinly. The documentary world is complicated, Sam. Contracts, investors, logistics. Adrian handles creative. I handle business. She's still involved, just behind the scenes. He showed me documents on his tablet. Production schedules, budget projections, interview lists. Everything looked legitimate. We want to expand the project, Vincent continued. Your story is resonating beyond what we anticipated. We secured funding for a full-length feature. A full-length feature. My story, my vlogs on that scale, it felt impossible. Vincent pushed a contract across the table. Standard agreement. You maintain creative control. We handle production and distribution. I didn't sign it immediately. Something Adrian had said echoed in my mind. There are people watching who don't support what you're doing. I took the contract to a lawyer, someone Kyle recommended. She reviewed it carefully, highlighting sections that concerned her. The creative control clause is vague, she explained. They could interpret it many ways. But ultimately, she said it wasn't predatory, just standard industry language. I signed it the next day. Vincent seemed pleased. Excellent decision, he said. We're going to make something special. He explained the documentary's scope. They'd been filming me secretly for months with Adrian's direction. Capture my interactions and vlog creation process. We have hundreds of hours of footage, Vincent said. Now we need the final piece. Your transformation. Transformation? I didn't understand. Vincent leaned back. Every great documentary needs a journey. You started as a struggling vlogger that nobody noticed. You're going to end as something much bigger. He mentioned a philanthropist who'd been funding the project. Someone wealthy and influential who believed in the power of documented kindness. They've been following your work closely, Vincent said. When the time is right, you'll meet them. The mystery benefactor. It felt like a movie plot, not my actual life. Doubt became my constant companion. Late at night, editing new vlogs, I questioned everything. Was I worthy of this attention? Was my message actually meaningful, or was I just lucky? The comments section became a mirror for my insecurities. Supportive messages lifted me up, but critical ones destroyed me. You're just doing this for views now, someone wrote. This whole documentary thing proves it. Were they right? Had I lost the authenticity that made my early vlog special? I filmed a video addressing my doubts directly. Sitting in my small apartment, camera focused on my tired face. I spoke honestly. I don't know if I deserve this opportunity. I'm not special. I'm just someone who noticed kindness and wanted to share it. The vulnerability felt terrifying, but when I posted it, the response was overwhelming. Thousands of comments from people sharing their own self-doubt, their own struggles with feeling worthy. One comment stopped me cold. It was from Critical Eye 47, the account that had mocked me from the beginning. Is this all just reviews? Not cruel this time. Genuinely asking. An email arrived with an invitation. A gala for documentary filmmakers and philanthropists. Black tie exclusive. The kind of event I'd never imagined attending. Vincent assured me it was legitimate. The benefactor will be there, he said. They want to meet you. I borrowed a suit from Kyle, who found the whole situation hilarious. My data entry buddy going to fancy gala, he laughed. Make sure you use the right fork. The event was at a downtown hotel. Chandeliers and marble floors, and people who looked like they belonged in magazines. I felt completely out of place. Vincent introduced me to producers, investors, people whose names I recognized from documentary credits. Everyone seemed to know about my project. The kindness vlogger, they called me. It felt reductive. Then Vincent led me to a corner where a distinguished older man stood talking with a small group. "Sam, meet the benefactor," Vincent said. But before I could shake hands, the fire alarm went off. Chaos erupted. People rushing toward exits, security shouting instructions. In confusion, the benefactor disappeared. The next morning, Vincent called with an explanation. "False alarm," he said. "Technical malfunction." But something felt wrong. I'd seen the benefactor's face for only seconds, but something about him seemed familiar. I couldn't place it. My vlogs continued gaining traction. 20,000 subscribers, then 30,000. Major media outlets started noticing. A local news station interviewed me about documenting everyday kindness. During the interview, I mentioned the documentary project. The journalist's expression changed. "Interesting," she said carefully. "What's the production company?" I gave Vincent's information. She wrote it down but looked skeptical. After the interview aired, I received dozens of messages. Most supportive, but a few warning me. "Be careful with documentary producers," one person wrote. "I've seen projects that exploited subjects." I contacted Adrian directly, using her last known email. To my surprise, she responded within hours. "Meet me tomorrow. We need to talk. Don't tell Vincent." The message was brief, urgent. Had something gone wrong? Was the documentary legitimate? Or had I walked into something more complicated? Adrian looked different when we met. Thinner, tired, but intensely focused. "Vincent isn't what he seems," she said immediately. "Neither is this documentary." My world tilted. She explained quickly, words tumbling out. The project was real, but it was part of something larger. A social experiment funded by a tech billionaire named Harrison Cole. He wanted to prove that authentic kindness could be manufactured, documented, and scaled. Adrian said, "Your vlogs were perfect. Genuine enough to attract real followers, but small enough to control." I felt sick. "So you've been manipulating me?" "No," she insisted. "I believed in your work from the beginning. That's why I left the project when I learned the full scope. Vincent took over, and Cole's been directing things since." Harrison Cole. The name triggered something. The benefactor at the gala. That's where I'd recognize him from. Tech news articles, Forbes covers, interviews about innovation. What does he want from me? I asked. Adrian's expression was grim. He wants to prove that kindness can be engineered and monetized. You're his proof of concept. Adrian handed me a folder filled with documents. Contracts I hadn't seen, emails discussing subject responses, and engagement metrics, budget breakdowns showing exactly how much money had been invested in growing my audience. 30% of your subscribers were directed there by Cole's marketing team, Adrian explained. Real people, but strategically targeted. He's been studying which stories resonate most, which messages spread fastest. I felt violated, used. Everything I'd built, every genuine moment I'd captured, reduced to data points in someone's experiment. "Why are you telling me this?" I asked. "Because you deserve to know the truth," Adrian said. "And because Cole's planning to reveal the experiment publicly. He's going to present you as proof that viral kindness is just good marketing." She gave me a choice. Walk away from the documentary, expose Cole's manipulation, and probably destroy my growing platform, or continue with full knowledge, using the platform he'd built to spread genuine messages despite his intentions. "The kindness you documented was real," Adrian said. "That matters more than his motives." I spent 3 days deciding. Cal thought I should expose everything immediately. "The guy is using you," he said. "Fight back." But something Adrian said kept echoing. The kindness was real. Thomas, the homeless veteran. Mrs. Chan at the corner store. The teacher buying school supplies. Their stories matter regardless of who funded the documentary. I called Vincent and told him I knew everything. Silence stretched across the line. "You talked to Adrian," he finally said. "I did." More silence. "And—" "I'm staying," I said, "but on my terms." I control the message. No more manipulation. No more stage growth. If Cole wants to study authentic kindness, He's going to get actual authenticity. Vincent sounded surprised. Cole won't agree to that. Then he can make a documentary about someone else. It was a gamble, but I'd learned something over the past months. Real people connected with real stories. Cole's money had built a platform, but my audience stayed because they cared. Vincent called back 3 hours later. Cole agrees. You have creative control. Full transparency. The documentary would reveal everything, including the manipulation. The broadcast was scheduled for a Saturday evening. Major networks picked it up. Adrian returned to help with final edits, working alongside Vincent and Cole's team. We barely spoke to each other. Tension thick enough to cut. Harrison Cole himself showed up to the studio. He was exactly as I remember from the gala. Tall, confident. Someone used to controlling every situation. Sam, he said, extending his hand. I'm glad you decided to stay. I didn't shake it immediately. I'm not doing this for you. I know, he smiled. That's what makes it perfect. The broadcast began with my story. Sam Torres, struggling vlogger, documenting small kindnesses. Then it shifted, revealing Cole's experiment, the strategic marketing, the targeted audience growth, the study of viral kindness. Viewers watched in real time as the manipulation was exposed. Then something unexpected happened. Cole appeared on screen, explaining his hypothesis. I wanted to prove that kindness could be engineered. I was wrong. He showed the data. How audiences responded most strongly to genuinely unscripted moments. How attempts to manufacture emotion fell flat. How Sam's authentic vulnerability in his doubt video had gained more traction than any marketed content. The revelation shifted everything. Cole admitted his experiment had failed in the best possible way. I tried to control kindness, he said to the camera. But kindness can't be controlled. It can only be recognized and shared. He'd spent millions trying to prove humans could be manipulated into caring. Instead, he'd proven that authentic human connection couldn't be faked. My subscriber count exploded overnight, not because of marketing, but because people connected with the honesty. Comments flooded in from viewers sharing how the documentary had changed their perspective. I was one of the targeted subscribers, someone wrote. I came for an algorithm, but stayed because your stories mattered. Cole approached me after the broadcast. I owe you an apology, he said. You were right about authenticity. I studied him carefully. What happens now? Now! Cole smiled. Now you use the platform we built together. You keep telling stories that matter. I'll fund it. No strings attached. Call it penance. The offer felt surreal. But Adrian confirmed it was legitimate. He's genuinely changed, she said. This project taught him something money couldn't buy. Critical Eye 47 reached out directly 2 days after the broadcast. I almost ignored the message, remembering months of cruel comments. But curiosity won. The message was long, apologetic, vulnerable. I was jealous, they wrote. You had courage to share things I was too afraid to. I mocked you because it was easier than admitting I wanted to do something meaningful too. They asked if we could talk. I agreed to a video call. Critical Eye 47 turned out to be a woman named Riley, maybe 30, with kind eyes and an embarrassed smile. I'm sorry, she said immediately. I was awful to you. We talked for 2 hours. Riley had wanted to start her own channel about environmental activism, but was terrified of judgment, so she'd hidden behind criticism instead. Watching your documentary made me realize I was wasting energy tearing others down instead of building something myself, she said. I told her to start creating. You'll get mocked too, I warned, but if it matters, you'll survive it. Riley launched her channel the following week. I promoted it to my followers, now numbering over 100,000. A month after broadcast, I quit my data entry job. Mr. Harrison seemed genuinely happy for me. I always knew you were meant for something else, he said. Cole's funding meant I could create full-time. But more importantly, it meant I could help others tell their stories. I started a mentorship program for aspiring content creators who wanted to document kindness and positive change. Riley was my first success story. Her environmental channel gained traction quickly, and she approached it with the authenticity I'd learned was essential. Vincent became a legitimate partner, helping coordinate production without manipulation. Adrian returned fully, bringing her creative vision back to project. Even Cole transformed. He used his platform and resources to amplify voices documenting genuine social good. I spent years trying to engineer virality, he told me during production meeting. Turns out the secret was just supporting real people with real messages. My relationship with Kyle improved too. He'd been skeptical from the beginning, but he apologized. You proved me wrong, he said. You stuck with something you believed in. The platform grew beyond anything I'd imagined. We produced short documentaries about people creating positive change in their communities. A teenager starting a literacy program. An elderly couple feeding homeless populations. A veteran helping others transition to civilian life. Each story resonated because each story was true. I stood on a stage at a film festival, accepting an award for documentary storytelling. My hand shook holding the trophy. 6 months earlier, I'd been fielding cruel comments and questioning whether my work mattered. This belongs to everyone who believed that small acts of kindness were worth documenting. I said into the microphone. The audience included people whose stories I'd told. Thomas, the homeless veteran, sat in the front row, wearing a donated suit, tears streaming down his face. The teacher I'd filmed was there, along with the single mother, the ex-convict, the teenager. They were the real award. After the ceremony, Cole approached with champagne. To authentic connection, he toasted. I clinked glasses, still processing everything. Thank you for failing your experiment, I said. He laughed. Best failure of my life. The final revelation came unexpectedly. Adrian called me to her office, her expression serious. There's something about Cole I need to tell you, she said. She pulled up an old news article. 20 years earlier, Harrison Cole had been a struggling entrepreneur with a failing startup. A stranger had helped him when he was at his lowest point, given him money for food, listened to his story, encouraged him to keep trying. He never learned that stranger's name, Adrian explained. But that kindness changed his trajectory. Everything he built came from that moment. Cole had spent years trying to understand why that kindness had mattered so much. That's what led to the experiment. He wanted to quantify, measure, and replicate something that couldn't be quantified. Your vlogs reminded him of that stranger, Adrian said. That's why he chose your project. He saw himself in your story. I met with Cole that evening. Adrian told me. I said. He nodded slowly. I've been searching for that person my entire life. Trying to thank them, repay them, understand them. Your documentary helped me realize something. What's that? Kindness doesn't need to be repaid or understood. It just needs to be passed forward. The documentary's success opened doors I'd never imagined. Speaking engagements, book deals, opportunities to consult on social impact projects. But the most meaningful moments remain small. A viewer messaged me about helping their elderly neighbor after watching my videos. A teenager started documenting kindness in their high school. A teacher used my content to discuss empathy with students. These ripples mattered more than view counts or awards. I continued creating, now with resources, but never losing sight of what made the work meaningful. Authenticity, truth, recognition that small moments could transform lives. Vincent produced a follow-up documentary tracking how my original videos had inspired others. The web of kindness spread further than any of us had anticipated. Riley's environmental channel thrived. Thomas got housing and started speaking about veteran support. The teacher's story led to policy changes in school funding. Every thread connected back to the simple decision to notice and share kindness. Late one evening, editing a new video, I received a message from an anonymous account. Thank you for not giving up. You reminded me why my own work matters. I sat in my apartment, the same small space where everything had started. My camera equipment was better now, thanks to Cole's support, but the heart of my work remained unchanged. Looking back, I understood what Adrian had meant months earlier. The manipulation, Cole's experiment, the strategic growth, none of it actually mattered. What mattered was that real people had connected with real stories. That kindness had been documented and shared. That small acts had inspired larger movements. Cole's money had built a platform, but the audience had stayed because they cared. That was the truth neither marketing nor manipulation could fake. I uploaded my latest vlog, a story about Mrs. Chun teaching neighborhood kids to garden in empty lots. Simple, genuine, real. The view count would climb or it wouldn't. People would comment or they wouldn't. But the story mattered because Mrs. Chin mattered, because kindness mattered. My phone buzzed with a message from Riley. Just help someone today because your videos taught me to notice opportunities. Thank you. I smiled and typed back. You did the work. I just shared the reminder. That was the real documentary. Not the produced film that won awards, but the daily choice to notice, to care, to act. What could you do today to make the world a little kinder?